I'm Ryan, and you're watching 60 Cycle Hum. Today I'm showing you the Aqueduct by EarthQuaker devices. At its core, the Aqueduct is a pretty simple and easy to use 2-knob vibrato. It's got rate and it's got depth. What else do you need? How about a rotary switch with a crap ton of different waveforms and expression options that make this something special? I'll say that. This is a fun vibrato pedal. Also, it has a feature that I tend to prefer in vibrato pedals, and that it's the style of vibrato that allows the character of your dirt pedals to travel through it without making them sound filtered or, univibe-ish. It's not doing the univibe thing. It's doing more of just a clean pitch vibrato, which is what I, typically like to play with. I think it's the most fun in my opinion, especially for, dirt box heads like me who like to stack overdrive pedals before their modulations. So anyways, let's get into it. Here is my drive sound from my Harley Benton MS60. It's, basic single coil offsetty sort of thing here. You get the idea. And here is the Aqueduct on the sine wave setting. Let's turn the depth all the way up, see what the range is. Let's turn the rate all the way up. Try turning the rate all the way down and see how slow it gets. Whoa. And of course the depth can turn all the way down to basically being bypassed, but why would you do that? There's a nice subtle sound. I use that kind of sound all the time just to put a little bit of motion into my playing. If I'm playing long, kind of like ambient notes, you throw that in there, and it just gives you this energy that you didn't have before. All right, let's go through the wheel here and experiment with each different setting. This is the triangle wave. That's a good one if you want to make yourself feel sick, huh? Sounds pretty on a lighter setting. Here's the ramp wave. Ramp goes up and then it dumps with a square wave on the back end. Let's make it real slow. That was weird and wonderful. What I love about these different waveforms is that on extreme settings, of course, they're weird and wacky and wobbly, but you can pull them all back and get some really usable sounds in the more subtle settings. Here is the square wave. I'm going to show you right off the bat the weird thing I like to do with it. On its extreme settings, it has this like Game Boy 8-bit sound that I really love. Something to think about with the square wave is that you can actually tune it in a way where the shelf of the modulation is so clear and so hard that you can like use your ear to figure out the exact note that you want it to hit. Once again, it's one of those things where on the extreme setting, it can seem so weird, but you dial it in just right and it becomes this wonderful musical thing that's completely usable in a standard, like accessible sort of way, not just an experimental noise-making sort of machine. Here is the random setting. Speaking of getting experimental, let's turn that depth all the way up. You know you have a use for that. Yes, you do. Because once again, you dial down the settings a bit. And yeah, you can use those crazy settings if you want. Go wild. Like do something creative, to end a set or in between songs on your album or something like that. But you'll dial down those settings, and what the random is good for is this really convincing, like warped record sort of sound. Like if you want to bring in this lo-fi, like kind of like mysterious and unsettling sort of sound, the random setting is gonna do it for you. Let's get into the envelope settings now. This first setting is envelope D, which stands for envelope depth. That means it controls the depth of the vibrato with your playing dynamics. And in this setting, the depth control turns into a control for the envelope sensitivity. So that's something to think about when you're playing around with this. Here is how that sounds. You can hear that as I dig in, the depth of the vibrato really ramps up and then it fades out. I honestly think this is my favorite, and it's the most usable of the envelope settings, just because it kind of rides the line of being more subtle and giving you this fun warble as you dig in. It's controllable with your playing. I have a feeling I'm going to use this a lot live. Let's explore the range of some of these knobs now. Is barely there on that setting. I think somewhere right around there is my preferred sound. Here is envelope R, which controls the rate. Got to pull out the manual here to figure out what the knobs do on this setting. The rate controls the sensitivity of the envelope, and depth selects the LFO intensity. I don't have a ton of use for that setting, but maybe you do, and that's what's important. All right, last but not least, envelope pitch control. This one's pretty unique because it is almost like an auto filter whammy where it senses you're playing and then it gives you a nice little kind of like smooth dip, like if you were using the arm on your whammy right here, on your tremolo, on your vibrato, whatever you want to call it on your guitar. Let's dial in the most extreme setting. Oh, I should look up what the knobs do. Back to the manual. Depth selects the wet-dry mix. I actually knew that. But rate sets the sensitivity and overall range of the pitch blend. So it's another sensitivity control. Here we go. Let's see what it sounds like. It sounds like someone's just giving you a nice little subtle, like Bigsby bend. That needs some drippy reverb. Yeah! I like that sound a lot. That is fun to mess with. Let's check out that blend control. Now this is interesting because you blend a mix of your dry signal and that affected signal, and you get this kind of like dynamic envelope controlled chorus. There's some extreme sounds and some subtle sounds to explore in the range of that knob on this setting. As with all the settings on the Aqueduct, I'm really impressed with this thing. I requested that they send me one when I got the press release because I was like, yeah, that's right up my alley and I want to mess around with it. I'm super glad EarthQuaker did. Please write them and thank them for sending me this pedal to mess around with. Also comment down in the comment section below. Please like, subscribe, dislike. I already said it, but go ahead and leave me rude and nasty comments and support us on Patreon. Later, guys. Enjoy the noodles at the end of this video.